Good morning. Happy 3 days after Christmas. Yeah. So today is a big day in this house. The oil man's coming. It's like a holiday almost. I woke up, my dad's like, don't go anywhere, don't go for your walk. The oil man's coming. But nah, it was every year. I think I mentioned it last time. But every year around this time, the conversation about heating the house comes up. I don't remember it growing up, but I remember every Christmas there'd be an argument or a conversation. I remember one year I told someone, I went to my friend's house, like, so what are you getting for Christmas? I said, I'm getting oil to heat the house. You got clothes on my... And they're just like, oh, you poor child. But, I mean, having a bunch of toys and no heat is not fun either. But, yeah. But since last week, my dad's been stressing about it, hoping... I didn't know this because I ain't a homeowner, but if it gets too cold, your pipes break. Like the water for your toilets and shower and all that. It breaks. It freezes and it breaks. And they got to call on someone and they got to fix it. They don't have water. It's, you know, it's something to be stressed about. So just hoping and praying we make it to Wednesday. But, so this morning I get up, I wake up, take my shower, say, good morning, Dad. My dad's like, don't go anywhere. The oil man's coming. I'm like, yeah, I know. Where else, where, oh, am I going to the gym now? Breakfast is peas, potatoes, and ham from Christmas. My stomach didn't give me no issues, so I guess it was just I don't know what the hell it was, but it was just bubble guts. So I saw this thing, right? I always see these things, social media posts, and it's so weird. Actually, before I even get into that, so the other day I was feeling melancholy, right? And then that day I worked on stuff. I was trying to set up OBS. You know, just plug and play, pop, 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 pop. I want to like screen capture the screen, have my face in there in the little corner with the little alpha channel, a little crop out, so it's a nice little circle and hide in the background. Have the audio come from the... You would think, well, it doesn't sound straightforward. And it wasn't. I'm trying. It's not working. So then, like at one time, the video is all like choppy and shit. Another time, the audio is not coming through. So then I updated the software. You should always do that first. And then it worked. Then I'm like, okay, I want to get my iPhone video, like the screen capture of the iPhone, but then there was no sound. So I'm looking, it took like all day. By the time night came, I didn't even text somebody. Like that's how it be when I try to, but you know, and then, I was testing out something because next year, which is coming right around the corner, man, I want to do my 365 or something to the like. It's going to be harder. The first time was hard because, you know, I didn't have a studio. I'm out there in the rain and shit. This one's hard because the unpredictability of what's to come. Like I tried to freestyle when my mom passed away. It wasn't pretty. It was raw. Apparently, My friend was telling me when I went back to Japan, he's just like, yeah, man, that was just beautiful because it was raw and it was passionate and da-da-da-da-da and inspiring. But, or during the summer, like, so being here, I don't know. But nevertheless, that's the plan. So I need to like set that up. So one thing I was doing, just random topics. So I found a random topic generator and I push the button, boop, boop, and it goes, talk about how you are not like everyone else and you're different. Like, wow, that is spot on. So I made the beat, started rapping to it, but I was trying a different way and it was being weird. I was trying to rap, but using the clips, not the session. Session clips. So it didn't line up and I don't really, so I didn't end up doing it. But, well, I did, I wrote it and I was veering way off the path. I was getting all Matthew-y, rappity rap just to rap, but not sticking to the topic. So that could be the whole point of next year, to stick to the topic and get good at just narrowing, zeroing on whatever the prompt is. You might even throw in genres. Do this in the style of trap. Do this in the style of drill. Do this in the style of old school rap. Do this in the style of Machine Gun Kelly before he battled Eminem. All that. And then setting a time like within an hour. This is hard. So many constraints, but that's what makes people, well, that's what makes you grow. It's like, put it. It's like if you're playing in a scale, if you play in the key of C, you're limited to those. If you go into the chromatic scales, it, you know, you could do that, but it has a different feel. But anyway. But then I just, you know, felt better. And then I was looking for an email or conversation that I had on YouTube. So I'm trying to find it using my old emails. Correct me if I'm wrong, but didn't YouTube have an email function? Because I haven't seen that in the longest of times. Like they just got rid of it or something. I don't know. But I was just looking through that. I went so far back, my emails were saying the Facebook, because that's what it used to be called, the Facebook. So-and-so posted on your wall on the Facebook. And then I was going back. And then I kind of took a trip down memory lane where I was watching some of my old videos. I don't watch my old videos. Well, music ones, because I watch it to, you know, repost it. But just a regular old thing is, it's interesting. Like I was watching the one where I was giving my house tour. I'm like, I guess it would be like fashioned after the Cribs, MTV Cribs, but I didn't watch that either. I didn't watch TV then. I don't really watch TV now, outside of what I'm watching. And it was my first apartment in Japan. And I was talking about how I was just showing how it was. I was talking about the tatami room, because when I got in there, they're like, yeah, we just put down this new tatami. And I was going on about how it stinks. And my empty kitchen. At one point, I had a cart that I borrowed from the store. And I kept it until I moved out. There was a big hole where the stove would be, because you had to install it. I was like, I ain't paying no. I think it would have been like $300. Like, I ain't paying no $300 to install a stove. I was so young and dumb. And then I don't know. I guess what's different or unique or interesting is at that point, I didn't know people would watch me. So I wasn't necessarily making videos for people to watch. I was just making videos to make videos, hoping that one day, maybe 2 years, maybe 10 years, people would watch. I didn't, because it was early on, you know? Nobody was really making money like that. And that was that. A lot of the videos, there's no comments on them either. It was just like, again, I think that might be because it went to the male feature, or people just weren't commenting at that point. And it was just so, I don't, it's it was pure. Like watching little kids play. They're not like they're just playing, like in their own little imaginary world, doing their own little thing, not worried about. They're Wakandiing in their own little bubble, doing their thing, not worried about the outside world, good or bad, depending on your perspective. And yeah. And then when I showed my studio, I had like an MPC 500. I had a MacBook, I guess a G3 at that time. I had a Snowball, little microphone. And in the background, there was all the Evisu stuff I had, some hats or whatever. Manifesto sweater. I was living my life. Quite interesting. And then my first contest ever, I believe, I can't remember, but it was the Guam one, the Guam contest. So I went to Guam for the first time, and I took you guys with me. Like, hey, let's go to Guam. And I'm out there living my life again, right? And came back and I was like, what do people in Guam speak? What did my girlfriend at that time say in the video? What is the Mile High Club? But be clean. I think there's 7 things. And people were responding. And it's crazy because some of the people who responded to that contest, this was like 14, 15 years ago, 14. I still see them or talk to them on social media, or, which is weird, man. Imagine if I never did the contest. Imagine if I never made a post. Imagine if all that would just disappear. And now what's interesting about that too, in that contest, there's no one from where I live. There's no one from my high school, no one from my family, none of my friends from wherever. It's just a whole group of new people I never met. And it'd be that way for a while, and then it'd be like, oh yeah, hey Matt, what's going on? I'm like, wow, you found me. But the original concept was to make the videos for my friends. I always say this because since they're not out here, I want them to see what it's like. Because, you know, we don't know this stuff for the longest time. When I would come home for Christmas, like, so what's China like? Like, I'm not in China. I'm in Japan. But it's, you know, you wouldn't know unless you know. Unless we have someone out there. And after a while, it would be like, hey, I heard you're in China. And my friends or family would be like, no, he's not in China. He's in Japan. Which was, you know, shifting. And I can't prove or disprove this, but my friend's sister's son got stationed in Japan. And I remember when I came home one summer, I think it was, I was shopping with my mom and she was walking out and I was walking in. It's like, hey, it's Matt. I was like, hey. hey, Matt. Oh, and we start, how long time no see? And then for a while, it was at the time when, she had an email, but we were sending like physical letters with pictures in it. And I would send her stuff, and maybe that inspired her son to be like, hey, man, I want to go to Japan. I heard some stories about it. There was a guy across the street. He came over one day. And he's like, my dad was out there. He's like, yeah, sorry about your mom. Then my boy, he's going out to Okinawa. He's like, yeah, I used to watch you on YouTube. Which is kind of cool. Yeah. So after watching a couple videos and all that, I kind of had this feeling like I lived a great life, man. Great life. Did so much. Inspired, helped some people. Do I know all the people I inspired and helped? Nope. Probably never will. And then the opposite. So many of you guys helped me. Like, messages, supporting. Well, we'll go from the very least. But it's still like, the fact that people were watching me back then when nobody was watching me, there was no reason to watch, and is, it gave me this kind of, and then people, they say, yeah, I like watching your videos because you inspire me, blah, 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 blah. This was a currency, social currency, that kind of kept me, I'm not the richest, and I'm not the thisest, but this person I never met is telling me that my video is inspiring him to want to come out here. So you saw me started making all those videos like, well, this is how you do this, and this is how you get a teaching job, and this is how you... And again, the connection was always severed, or not severed, but time displaced. I make the video today. Like the one video I made, right? I rented this is before Airbnb type spots. So I just rented an office space. Just, how much for this room? It was like $250. I'm like, okay. Rented it. And I made my first series of how to get a teaching job in Japan. And I just, everything that I knew up until that point, blah, blah. And then that was that. $250 gone. A couple years later, those videos would start getting traction, and I started getting like some pennies from them. Then $1 here and there. I would say from the ads themselves, I made about $300 from that video, from those video series. And then, because they were getting traction, someone reached out to me like, hey, can we interview you? Because you're one of the first people to make that kind of videos. Which was just another, sure, you can interview me. And he's just like, yo, man, you're... And then whatever music I was pushing at that time would also be like... And what I keep remembering is there was no one there saying, Matthew, you should make a video about how to teach English in Japan. Matthew, you should... It was always this kind of, I'm talking about, I'm going to do this. And people are like, why? I don't get it. What's the point? Now, they're not, not necessarily being like rude, like, don't do it, it's stupid. But they just don't know. Like, how could they know? Now it's like everybody has someone, like if you like cooking, there's someone that resonates with you. If you like, there's someone for everyone, and you could kind of be like, oh yeah, you should do it. Like now it's just, well, you never know. You should go on YouTube and talk about salt. Because there's this guy, his name is Salt Shaker, and he makes like $8 million on... People do that now. But at that point, wild west of YouTube. And so no one was saying it. And some people might have been low-key hating, like, who's this guy think he is out there making videos? He ain't a Will Smith. And I use Will Smith because that's who we use. That's who I use. Because he was a wholesome guy, He's like, but he's not... He was a wholesome guy. I can't speak on it. I don't know. Maybe Harry Styles. But I need to pick a black guy. I don't know. But but that's what I always thought. I need to be like movie star, Emmy nominated TV personality for people to start. But it wasn't the case. It was the fact that I decided that I'm going to post myself out there, and I'm going to. But there's always that delay. I do it, and then maybe a year, maybe 2 years, maybe 5 years later, boom. Like, at the one point I started rocking Evisu, right? Just because I wanted to. Now, my goal was they're going to be like, hey, we're going to let you sponsor us because clearly you're crazy about us. So here. But early on, I saw an interview where the guy was like, nope, we're going to keep Evisu for Japanese people. It was made by us, for us, so we're going to keep it for us, and everyone else is whatever. And I was kind of slight, like, what? Where Bape, you know, they had Pharrell and Soulja Boy, and everyone's getting like getting stuff. They're all out there. And to this day, I saw a kid in my class, one of my students, who has a Bape jacket. Don't know if it's real, but I think because they were so open with that, they kind of were Evisu. They're just like, nope, it's ours. Now, you know, Japan was doing pretty well with the, you know, people in their country buying the stuff that they make. Because at one point, they were still buying CDs for a single on a CD single for $13. It has a song, an instrumental, and a remix, and something on the other side, and full packaging, $13. So they were making their money. The system, well, they didn't have Napster. Pirating and all that. But, I remember, so yeah, the memory lane. So I'm walking down watching these videos and just thinking, man, oh man, I did a lot. And then another thing that was interesting is, because I'm going all the way back to, like I'm looking at emails, and it shows when people subscribe. And there's some people who I didn't know they were subscribed to my channel because I wouldn't meet them until years later. And we wouldn't talk about, oh yeah, I watch your channel and all that. That would come, again, years later. But there they were. 'Cause you know, for the most part, older people kind of have handle names that are, someone who likes chicken, their handle would be like, I like chicken from Philadelphia. And that would be in their Facebook or their email. New people, they be making all types of random stuff, XY. Because remember back in the day, right? Your password used to be 111111 or 12345 or because security, while it was a thing, but it was whatever, right? Now it's like you got to add all them extra characters in there or have it locked, or I'm scared to put it in one of those suggested because I can't memorize it. And the way iPhone be, if you get, because right now I come in, boop, boop, it's like password. And then my phone, my iPad or my phone or my watch will kind of pop up and I could verify from one of those. But what if I don't have any of those? I can't get into my account because of the way it's like, that'd be annoying. Like when I switched my number, I couldn't get into some accounts. It's like, but then, so it'd be like that. But you know, security. But yeah, man, it was interesting to see. And this was, so my takeaway was, of course I wasn't always on the right, like had some hiccups in what I was doing, but as long as I keep moving forward, I found my life was filled with interesting adventures. Like, well, I'll leave it at that. But It was filled with interesting adventures. Since I've been home, I haven't have been doing adventures because, I mean, there's some real factors, but no adventures. I'm losing, or I lost the it, like the spark, adventures. I was just sitting in the house. Again, there's reasons for all of that, whatever, but yeah. So the other day, this is after the fact or before the fact, but still, I was thinking of having like a meetup, doing my own meetups in America, renting a space and bringing people to teach them something. The easiest probably would be how to make beats, rent a studio space. But it's so expensive out here. In Japan, I'm sure I could find it, make it work. But in Japan, studios would be like, I don't know, $50, $70 for 3 hours for 6 people. Out here, now maybe they're baking in the insurance or whatever. I don't think so, though. They're talking about $300. You got to book it for 8 hours. So it comes up $300 or $400. I ain't got no $400 for an event that I don't even know if people are going to show up to. At least in Japan, it's like, all right, no one showed up. It's not that much of a hit. Now, one time I rented like a live house. So I had a little stage. It was in like a bar kind of thing. So I had a lot of space. And I bought wires, long wires, so we could hook up machines, and it had a PA system. So I had all this stuff set up, and only two people showed up. Yeah, that was the death of that. I didn't do it again. Really? People hit you with that on the day of. Hey man, I'm sorry, I can't make it. Is it okay? I can't force you to come, but no, it's not okay. But yeah, you know, you win some, you lose some, but you lose 100% of the ones you never do. But that's not true. Because if you don't invest money in whatever and that stock goes zero, you won't lose anything because you didn't invest in it. But if the stock starts quadrupling, you won't get that either because you never invested. Life's like that, right? But yeah, I'm thinking of doing it because what I've noticed is anytime I was doing something, putting myself out there, teaching, helping, showing people stuff, that's when I was at my best. When I'm not doing all that, I kind of shrink into this no one's helping me mode. But when I'm busy helping other people, I'm too busy to see that no one is helping me. I'm helping myself. Like, I see that kind of pattern throughout. And YouTube is so great because I could actually like pinpoint, I could see that pattern. Like, okay, here's me trying to promote help, da-da-da. Oh, I'm going up, da-da-da-da-da. Here's me thinking about me, da-da-da-da-da. Like, I'm at my best when I'm trying to help people. I'm at my worst when I'm expecting people to help. Now, here's a problem, though. This works for new people, like people who don't know me. You know, people who haven't spent 8 hours with me at one spot, a school or job, whatever. Now, new people, it's different because I'm in a new mindset. So I don't know if any of this will help work where I live. Like if I had an event in my hometown at some spot, I don't think people would come. Not again. I think I would get that hometown hate, which is not necessarily because of me or whatever, but it is what it is. Like when I how to put this? Oh, I don't even have to explain. You know how it is for most people, you know. There's the people around you that be talking the most junk, or they can't see it. The other people like, wow, look at you. You out here doing it stuff, because they know. Like one time when I had my little USB tapes, I still got a box of them. I need to repurpose them or something. I don't know. But I had a box of them, got them from China. Yeah, came over, and I was selling it for $40. And there was a guy who also did some merchandise, because when I met him, he had these little metal buttons with his logo on it, like made out of metal. And I'm like, damn, that's nice, because I know he didn't just like hit up Zazzles. I don't even know if Zazzles is a thing, but you know, the on-demand printing shop. Like, he had to go to the source. So, he was like, so what's your unit price? Like, don't worry about it, because everyone's around me. People might feel a certain way if they like, you paid $1 and I'm paying you $2. That ain't right. I mean, that's business. But he knew he could respect the hustle. But it be like that. Man, I ain't drinking my juice. But yeah. So now I'm trying to work out, what am I gonna do for the new year? The meetup thing, I might have to. I can't do it here. I don't want people in my house like that, and I need like a studio. Basically, I want to show people how easy it is to make a beat, because there's people who think they need X, Y, and the third, and through that, I can meet new people, meet some good people, meet some bad people. I might start a book club. I don't know, I just need to start stuff and make time. Because I know there's people out there waiting for it. Or people who don't even know. And at some point, I might even be able to do an event for kids, teaching kids how to make beats and stuff with like a community center. Like, this stuff is exciting. And again, I have different issues, whatever. Like, I'm kind of nervous. If I start bringing equipment, people might steal it. That's a thing. It could happen. In Japan, I had an event once where I brought all my equipment. I had my computer, my MPC, and all that. Boom. Had it on the table. And then someone called me. Hey, Matt, I don't know where the place is. Can you come get me? I said, hold on. I said, yo, I'm going to be right back. I left all my stuff right there. Boom. I go like 15 minutes down there to find them and came 15 minutes up. My event was practically over. When they came back, the people there were cleaning stuff up on my behalf. Like, that's Japan. Not saying that people in Japan won't rob you, but the community that I found in Japan, you know, shit, if I didn't make it back, they'd take it with them and then whatever. Here, I don't trust these people. I come back, everything's gone. There's a note. Come on, man. What do you think was going to happen? I mean, I enjoyed the event, but what do you think is going to happen? You got to be here, man. But if you have another one, I'll come back. But yeah. Or the drive. Like, one of the studios or spaces was like 2 hours away from where I live. But it had everything. It had this one big wall painting with this nude Marilyn Monroe. I don't think she did nude. Well, she did, but it wasn't. But you know what I'm saying. It was like one of those artsy things on the wall. And then it had a studio and a couch and the atmosphere. But it's 2 hours from where I live. I don't want to be going that far. And it was cheap. I think the studio was saying something like it's $1 to rent it, but you have to promote it online. But we'll see. And shit, I was thinking there's some people who's watching me who live in the area. I mean, Philly, New Jersey, New York. I mean, it's still a wide area, but to meet up. But I don't know about that because I'm shy. Actually, I'm not shy. I'm just in my experience, when I have met people who watch me, they usually say this. They'd be like, "You're not like what I imagined you to be." You know what do you mean? Well, on YouTube, you're this, but now you're this. It's like, I'm a human. But yeah, that's how it'd be like if you watch a comedian and that's all they do is they tell jokes, and then you meet them in real life and they're like super cynical. Like, I thought you're going to be telling jokes all day. So what the fuck you want me to tell jokes for? You want to hear a joke? You're a joke. Like, now maybe some people are one-to-one. Like, it just like, or it could be this way. I thought you're going to look down on me like I was a piece of shit, but you're actually a cool dude. That happens too. Like, someone said this one, like, "Oh man, I was nervous when I met you. I thought," I'm like, what? I'm just a regular person, man. I eat, breathe shit just like everyone else. You know? Just trying to figure out this shit like everyone else, you know? So yeah, I don't know. I mean, I once met a super fan who wanted to buy my CD. I don't know if I don't know if I told this, but I'm gonna tell it again. Anyway, so I went to this venue, and she was there. And when I walked in, she told her friend, and then her friend came over, and he's like, "She wants to meet you." And I'm like, "Hey," she's like, "I watch all your videos." And then she pulled up her phone, and there was my videos in her like previously watched thing, and it was just random. I've never seen that before. We exchanged numbers. She's like, and I'm like, I just dropped an album. I'm like, "Oh, can I have it? Can you sign it? Can I have it?" And I'm like, I didn't just want to sell it to her because that just seems so transactional. So I'm like, we have to meet for dinner or something. Have lunch. And as we're sitting there talking, I just, I talk how I talk. The sun will come out tomorrow, but I ain't focused on that. You get a glass, like, is this half empty? Is it half full? Or is it just a glass with liquid in it? Or is it not even a glass? It's plastic. Like, I was going that direction. So you might hit me with some philosophical, the sun will come out. Don't waste my time with that. You know why? And I'll go into that because whatever. I mean, what if it's a glass full of poison? Does it matter if the poison is half full or half empty? The glass full of poison, it's still poison at the end of the day. So how positive can you think about the poison? Shit, even a little bit of poison, that's where my mind goes, you know? Now, am I saying that I want to be poisoned? Because then some people might say, "Matthew, do you want to live? Which always throws me off, because when did I say anything about any? I'm just making a point that the little half empty, half glass analogy or metaphor is a piece of whatever, because if it was filled with, actually poison is a new one. I don't know what liquid poison is out there. But my point is, if it was filled with poison, would it matter if it's half filled or half empty? The end result would still be the same if you drank it. Therefore, we shouldn't focus so much on the contents of anything. Again, that's where I go. Read books, think and all that. But it throws people off who weren't expecting that. It's kind of like when you watch a YouTube clip and they cut it. So they just leave it to show like wildlife. This Pete Rock, I follow him. He always be showing animals in the wild doing what animals in the wild do. So buffalo or lion is chasing the buffalo. And the buffalo runs away. Out of frame, cut. But what he didn't show was, it was Buffalo Bill and Buffalo Lisa? Lisa didn't make it. He just followed Bill, and then Bill was all like, my wife, my wife, my wife. And he's off. Where the rest of the pack is enjoying a nice Lisa snack. And blood is everywhere. Like, it's not a pretty look. If you showed that video, people might, people like what they like. But it's a different story, a different take on what happens in life, I tend to zoom way out. So you see that Tina didn't make her, Lisa? I forget the name I made. Lisa? Tina? I think it was Lisa. Lisa didn't make it. Bill did. I wonder why Bill didn't come back for Lisa. Like, I guess he didn't care about her, or his flight was more than his fight, or maybe he knew, or maybe Lisa was cheating on him. I don't know. But zoom out. Make your own story. Other people zoom in all there. So yeah, it could be hit or miss when talking to me. And some people try to be smart. Like, you're not smart, man. You're talking, but you ain't smart. Again, let's pull that. So yeah. But as always, we hitting that 40-minute mark. And I'm gonna wait for the oil, man. And